What is that, right? Where does it come from? Isn't that the most curious thing ever? So fascinating, right? So I want you to really see that that is true. Ah, I guess I'm not doing this. Well, who or what is doing it then? So I set this goal for myself when I was 26, that I want to build a life that I don't feel like I need a vacation from. And I had one of my best friends reminding me of this. He was like, are you actually thinking about this? Do you reflect on this, the goal that you set when you were 26? And I was like, I guess I don't, because it's become my life now, a life I don't feel like I need a vacation from. And it's been overlooked, I realize. And I think this is going to become a lot more common for people to want to do this, to escape the matrix, we could say, or to build a life that we don't feel like we need a vacation from, because we're all sort of moving in this direction. We're all tired of living in survival. We're all tired of going to jobs that we don't like so that we can get money, just so that we can survive. And this is something that I used to question my entire life. I've always questioned this narrative of needing to do something that we don't enjoy so that we can survive. It's not for me at all. And so when I was 26, I was able to have the insight that I'm going to build a life that I don't feel like I need a vacation from. And so there are a couple of things, actually 3 things in this video that I want to go over that I think is crucial for us if we want to learn to live a life that we don't feel like we need a vacation from, so that we can escape survival, fight or flight, so that we can live life based off of our terms and create a life of our dreams. So the first thing I want to share here is that we want to learn, or we want to start to dig where we stand. And what I mean with this is that I used to be so stressed when I was younger, trying to figure out what I was going to do with my life, because I never enjoyed any regular 9-to-5 job. I always felt anxious, I always felt trapped and stressed and worried, and I had deep wounding, now I realize, years after, that really limited me to live a normal life. And that is almost something I see as a good thing, because it actually pushed me in this direction of building this life for myself. But I was so focused on trying to find something external. I was so focused on looking externally for what my purpose was supposed to be, or what I'm supposed to do here on the planet. Supposed to do with my life to make money so that I can survive, right? That I overlooked everything that has come natural to me ever since I was a kid. So what I mean with we want to start digging where we stand is that we want to start to look at things that have been the most natural to us our entire lives. Me, for example, I've always wanted to lift people up. I've always wanted to see people succeed. I've always cheered people on, and I've always used my communication in a way to make people... I like storytelling. I really enjoy storytelling. And I didn't see this. So when I was in my early 20s, I was like looking for something external that was not sort of natural to me. I was comparing myself to everyone all the time. What has come the most natural to me my entire life? I have always wanted to lift people up. I've always wanted people to succeed. I've been a strong communicator. Okay, that's what I'm going to focus on. So when I was 26, everything just sort of opened up for me, because I realized then that I'm going to become a coach. I'm going to help people live better lives. And of course, it did help after me having my awakening of, I started becoming a lot more interested in psychology. I started becoming a lot more interested in self-improvement. And of course, I wanted to spread that knowledge that I sort of incorporated and I guess adopted into my own life to make myself feel better about myself. I wanted to help people do the same. And I really got fascinated by the mind and how the mind works. And I wanted to understand myself and others as well. So that obviously helped. So it felt like the pieces of the puzzle sort of like put themselves together there. And so that idea of I'm going to become a coach and the goal that I set for myself, I'm going to build a life that I don't feel like I need a vacation from, they arrived at the same time. And so learning to dig where we stand is the most important thing, because if we don't do that, we will be hypnotized by the world or by other people doing their own thing that we think we're supposed to do too, because, oh, that person is doing good, I'm gonna do the same. But it's inauthentic to you. They have just found whatever they're supposed to do. So we want to dig where we stand. What has come the most natural to me my entire life? If we can learn to really ask ourselves that question, if we can really do that, if we can see this, then we will take ourselves one step closer to this life that we don't feel like we need a vacation from. The second thing I want to say is that we want to learn to go into everything that we don't like about ourselves. And this can be kind of not fun at all. But the reason we want to do this is because we have so much stuff in the nervous system coming from the past that we haven't allowed ourselves to feel. And really what this is doing is that it creates drive for ourselves to try and fulfill ourselves elsewhere in the world. This pain, let's say that it's worthlessness or shame or something very deep that we don't want to feel about ourselves, that we got exposed to, most likely in school or somewhere, soccer practice, whatever, when we were kids, that we felt so left out from the group. We felt so sort of isolated. And with this pain, we're always going to look away from this space where actually our authenticity lies. Because the pain is going to be creating this drive to want to fulfill itself in the world by pursuing things that is just going to take ourselves further away from our full authentic power, our fullest potential. And so by learning to look in the direction where the pain is, we will clear out so many limiting beliefs, so many beliefs about ourselves that I'm worthless, that I'm not worthy, that I need to achieve something to make myself feel whole on the inside. All of these things are really blocking us from living that life that we truly desire. And the interesting thing here is as well that a lot of self-improvement journeys start like this. A lot of self-improvement journeys start from a place of pain. I don't like who I am, I don't like what I am, and I need to become someone, I need to achieve something in the world to prove myself to myself and to others so that I don't feel worthless anymore, or so that I don't feel this shame anymore. It's a fly. The problem here is though that it's so easy to get stuck in this never-ending chase for something all the time. Self-improvement, right? We have this idea that I need to improve all the time. We get stuck in this trap of who we think ourselves, who we think that we need to be. We get fixated on this idea or ideal version. So we're constantly feeling like something is missing. We're never addressing the pain in the first place that is creating this drive. But this has to happen though. We have to sort of have this sort of pain to fuel us in the beginning, but eventually we have to give that up. Eventually we really have to come to the realization that I have healed myself. I've been on this healing journey, this self-improvement journey for as long as I can remember, and I still feel like something is missing. I still feel like I'm not as good enough as I am. When am I finally gonna arrive? We arrive when we turn around and we learn to face that which made us really start that journey in the first place, the pain that has created the drive to try and find ourselves in the world. So by going into our pain, we will sort of restructure that drive, and we will stop focusing on things that take us further away from our full authenticity, and we will actually learn to embrace ourselves exactly as we are. And when we do that, everything that we do will become an extension of ourselves. So what we're doing won't feel like work. We don't even need to be disciplined in the traditional sense, because everything is just going to flow out of us effortlessly, because there's nothing left on the inside for us to try and escape. And when that happens, of course, we will sort of arrive in more of like a non-arrival, but we will arrive in a sense of, I'm complete, I'm good enough as I am. So the drive that we have is not based off of lack or that something is missing anymore, but it's based off of love for ourselves. It's based off of fulfillment already. And when that happens, of course, life will start to present ourselves with things that reflect that back to us. And we will take ourselves one step closer to a life that we don't feel like we need a vacation from. Now, the third thing is probably the most important thing, and that is that we really want to learn to not take things so seriously anymore. We want to approach life from a more playful angle. And there's a little bit of an exercise that I do with my clients that has been, and that I use myself, that has been probably one of the most impactful, rewarding, and beneficial exercises I've ever done and that I've ever come up with. And if you're interested in this, if you're interested in my coaching, click the first link in my description and we can have a chat. and see if we want to work together. If this is resonating with you and if what I'm saying lands in you, then click the first link if you're curious. But the exercise that I want to show you is probably one of the most simple exercises we can do. And I've shared this before on this YouTube channel, but I haven't really gone into the depth that I'm going to do here. So I want you to just sit back and relax. And you can close your eyes if you want to, or not. You can keep them open as well. But I want you to put all your attention in your feet right now. And just notice your feet. You're tapping into the sense of touch here. And you might be able to pick up some tingles, or shivers, or movements, or tremors, or something like that inside your feet. You can sense that, right? It's like some force, something here. So see if you can spread that up your legs, or your hands and arms. And it's not something that you do, right? There's no effort. You don't have to try to do this. It's simply paying attention to what is already here. It's simply paying attention to the sense of touch as much as you can. And just learning to be inside your own body. Now, you want to actually come to a place where you can actually learn to feel your entire body like this. And it might be difficult to do at first. For me, it took quite some practice to be able to learn to feel my entire body in one piece. But you want to really, as if you're feeling like an outer, almost like a shell of sensation all throughout your body. Tingles, shivers, movements. And notice here that you're not doing this. Notice that you're not making this happen. These sensations, these movements happening, they're coming from somewhere and they go to somewhere. It's all effortless, it's all automatic. You're not doing that, you're not making it happen. You're not in control over it. You've never been in control over it. So my question is, where does it come from? And you might say, they come from nowhere, or they come from the nervous system or somewhere. And I'm like, okay, well, how does that happen? Right? Like, where do they come from? Isn't that the most curious thing you've ever thought of? Like, okay, if it's the nervous system, well, what is driving that? Something must be driving that. There must be some intelligence that is working here that is beyond my control. What is that? What is that, right? Where does it come from? Isn't that the most curious thing ever? So fascinating, right? So I want you to really see that that is true. I guess I'm not doing this. Well, who or what is doing it then? I'm being moved by something here. I'm being moved by some force. It's almost as if life is flowing through me, as me, for me to experience. So I want you to put your attention in the direction from where these arising movements seemingly is coming from. Put your attention in that space, in that direction, and give your trust to that. Give your trust to that intelligence. And see what happens there when you learn to trust the intelligence coming from the space of nowhereness or nothingness that is driving all movements and tingles and shivers all throughout your body without you needing to do anything, without you having ever been in control over it, ever. And just rest there. And when you do, You will learn to take life not so seriously anymore. You will learn to not be so rigid about your own self-improvement, about life as it is, about I need to become someone, or I need to do something, or I need to achieve something to prove myself. Because in this space you are held by this intelligence. In this space you feel safe. In this space you feel a sense of peace, a sense of being home, right? And it's always here. It's never in the past, never in the future. And this space is always available to all of us, all the time. And if we want to learn to live a life or build a life that we don't feel like we need a vacation from, this intelligence, this space, is going to be your absolute best asset you can ever possibly imagine. Because this space will express itself through you. The more you're able to give up control, the more you're able to trust this space that it's got your back, the more you will be able to be a channel for this space to create the best life possible for yourself. Because this is the drive that I'm talking about. When you're no longer driven by fear or a sense of lack or thinking that you need to become something to prove yourself worthy, that you're not worthless, the more you will be driven by this space. And this space has an underlying tone of creative inspiration, gentle, playful power to it. And it's all we have ever wanted. And so the more you can learn to direct your trust here, the more life will open up to you. And everything will orchestrate itself in the most incredible structural order ever for you. And you don't even have to think about what's next, because it makes no sense to think about what's next when you're here, because this is all there ever is. This is everything that has ever happened and ever been now. So as we learn to give ourselves over to this, life will orchestrate itself in our own benefit in ways we have never been able to foresee ever. And it's the most incredible, fascinating thing I've ever discovered in the history of fascination. If this is resonating with you, then give it a like and a comment. And subscribe if you want to as well. Thank you so much for watching. And go back to this video if you want to revisit this space. And there's going to be a lot more things like this coming on the channel. But this is me presenting to you how I've been able to build a life I don't feel like I need a vacation from. Thank you for watching this video, and I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.